Everybody, let me make sure the YouTube is awake. Let me just make sure the YouTube is awake. Come on, YouTube. There you go. Oh, yeah. That's looking at Lucy's here. Do you guys see Lucy chilling? She's like, what are you doing, man? Lucy's chilling on the desk. You might even be able to hear her purring. I don't know. But there, I can't really see her. Lucy, there you can see her. See? That's a cat. That's not part of my Bad Religion t-shirt. That's a cat. How's it going, Lucy? I know. Are you excited about the wedding this weekend? I'm getting married this weekend. You guys know this. Yeah, some of you guys have been commenting that I've been mentioning it a lot. And yeah, I totally have. And you've been mentioning that in a good way, which I really appreciate. I've seen some of the comments. People are like, Ron, it's so cool that you sound stoked. And I am. And they're like, it's so cool that you're stoked and it's fun. And thank you for that. And I appreciate that very, very much. It's been kind of crazy. They declared a state of emergency in Los Angeles because of the coronavirus. And a bunch of my friends and family are coming in from out of town. Some of them aren't anymore. Yeah, a little crazy, but we're rolling with it. And things are, yeah, it's exciting stuff. So welcome to the patron stream. This is where I respond directly to the patrons. And if you're watching this and you're like, well, I'm not a patron, but I'd like to be one, well, patreon.com/RonPlacone. That's the place to go for a Give What You Can level. You get all kinds of exclusive content, including the replay of this stream and being able to contribute questions and what have you to this stream and streams like it. We do this once a week. You also get full stand-up clips not available anywhere else. You get audio podcasts not available anywhere else. Videos not available anywhere else. Songs I'm working on not available anywhere else. My album for its entirety. You can just download my album. There's hundreds of clips and writings and videos and everything on my Patreon, patreon.com/RonPlacone. What do you get in return? Or what are you helping me do? You're helping me expand the show. I keep getting very disenfranchised by electoral politics. And when that happens, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this show. I'm going to tweak the direction of this show a little bit and make it more about, doing stuff in your community. And I'm going to make it more about city-owned internet and trying to get city-owned internet all across the country, starting right here in my own backyard in Pasadena. And I'm really going to start putting a lot more of my eggs in that basket, so to speak. I always say I'm going to do that, and I try to do that, but then I never go further with it. And then I just kind of get caught in the wheel again. And then I get like, So you know what I'm going to do? This time, I mean it. I really, really want to do that badly. Like, I want to do that, and I could use your help doing that because I want to start making mini documentaries, and that takes resources. I can't do that myself. I need editors, and I need camera people, and I just need help with that. So if you are so able, patreon.com/RonPlacone, even $1 a month goes a long way. Boom. So let me see what the patrons are saying here. Podcast by George. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I hope you are doing terribly well. See what I did there? Podcast by George. Is a vote for Michigana Joe. I've never heard him called that before. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Here, I'll Google it because I feel like I'm missing something. Michigana. Is that where he's from or something? Yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. Oh, it's a reference to something in pop culture, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, it means like oh, okay. I get it. All right. It's kind of like a pejorative, like calling someone a schmuck or something like that. Foolish, stupid. All right. Well, I learned something new today. And knowing is half the battle, like what they said in G.I. Joe. All right. I get it. Thank you for that. All right. So is a vote for Biden a vote for the national security state continuity? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Joe Biden certainly, he's never seen a war he didn't like. And he's certainly not going to be any challenge to the military industrial complex. Joe Biden's not going to touch that. I think the biggest deep state guy was Wall Street Pete. I think Pete Buttigieg, and by the way, I still stand by this. Pete Buttigieg was the most dangerous person, running for president. I mean, I think that guy was even more dangerous than a Joe Biden. I don't think he'd beat Trump, and I don't think Joe Biden will beat Trump either. So in a way, but I think Pete Buttigieg, I mean, that guy's scary. Joe Biden, I think, is just a blank suit politician. He's just going to continue the military industrial complex as usual. So yeah, since it's pretty much between Bernie and Joe, of course, Joe Biden, you want to continue the national security state. You want to continue the war machine. Joe Biden was totally fine with the Patriot Act. He was proud of it. He'll definitely expand spying powers just like Obama did, just like Trump did. Joe Biden would do the same thing. But you know what? It probably ain't going to happen. At least, well, it'll happen, but it won't be Joe Biden doing it because there's no way Joe Biden wins in a general. It's just a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Trump. I'm sorry. You want to talk about enabling Trump. A vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Trump. So there you go. But yeah, absolutely. So to make a long answer longer, podcast by Georgie, yes, would be my answer to that question. Edwin, what's up, buddy? I hope you are doing awesome. Crystal Ball and Jen Perlman have suggested this morning that Bernie should reach out to Warren. Thoughts? Define reach out. I know that, and you've submitted this question earlier today before the stream, and I saw some stuff that apparently the two camps are talking, the Bernie campaign and the Warren campaign. If by reach out you mean have a discussion, I don't see the harm in that. I mean, whatever, if by reach out you mean Warren's the VP, I do not think that's a good idea. First of all, I don't think Warren really brings much to the table as far as what Bernie would need to win in a general. Are there some Warren supporters who are leaning Bernie that might push them over the edge over to Bernie? Yeah, maybe. But I think a lot of those folks would be Bernie supporters anyway in the general. They're not gonna vote for Donald Trump. What Bernie needs from a VP is he needs someone that can help him with things that he's good at but could use even more help with, which is reaching people who are unlikely voters, people who are disenfranchised and might stay home, and undecided voters, people who maybe they took a chance on Trump in 2016. Maybe they voted for Trump because they're like, look, I don't like this guy. He's kind of a jerk, but I can't stand the Washington Beltway. I can't stand the status quo. Maybe this guy's going to be the outsider he says he is. So they took a chance on Trump. Trump, of course, is an insider just like everyone else. He didn't deliver on anything he said he was going to. So now they're having buyer's remorse. And maybe they're thinking, I'm just going to stay home this time. Bernie needs to get some of those voters. Liz Warren does not get you any of those voters. Liz Warren does not get you any undecided voters. She does not get you any unlikely voters. She does not get you any new voters. She'll get you some of the blue no matter who crowd. And again, they're the blue no matter who crowd. Those people don't want to vote for Bernie, but they will if they have to. And when I say they have to, I mean like it's a general. The other option is Donald Trump. So I don't think Liz Warren would be a very good VP pick for a number of reasons. I also think that, as far as just being the type of presidency we need to see, Sanders, for his VP pick, should pick someone that the establishment despises just as much, if not more, than they despise him. That's one of many reasons I'm hoping for a Bernie Tulsi ticket. I think that overall they complement each other well. I think Bernie fills in some of her blind spots domestically, where she fills in some of his blind spots on foreign policy. And I think that's kind of the best overall ticket we can hope for. And I'm hoping for a Bernie Tulsi ticket. So, yeah, if by reach out you mean have a discussion, I don't see a problem with that. They can have a discussion, whatever. That's cool. But if I reach out, I mean, she should be the VP. I don't think that's a good idea. I do not think Liz Warren should be the VP for a number of reasons. First of all, I mean, how can you can't trust her. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, how many benefits of the doubt? Lucy, I get it. You want your belly rubbed. I get it, Lucy. I get it. Did you see her pawing at me? And she's just like, dude, I'm laying on my back. You know what you're supposed to do next. I've trained you well. And when she gets tired of this, she'll just meow. She'll be like, we're done now. I'm over this. I don't want it anymore. I think I have to brush your teeth tonight. I know you're not happy about this. I brush my cat's teeth. She hates it. Some of you guys were like, Ron, what you do is you let her sniff the toothpaste for a while. I tried that. What happens is she just stares at it and she's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, sniff it, taste it. She's like, I don't want that. Get it out of my face. And then I'm like, all right, time to brush your teeth. And she still is equally pissed off. Doesn't work. But we just power through, don't we? Don't we? Then she gets a little grumpy and standoffish for a little bit. She's like, I don't want to sit on your lap. I don't know what, I didn't like what you did. I didn't like it. And I'm like, Lucy, I'm sorry. It's good for you. It's like getting a kid to eat their vegetables or something. Like, come on, we need to brush your, no. Lucy, occasionally, you need to have your wet food. It's good for your kidneys. I don't want it. Well, you're not getting anything else. You got to eat that. That's your dinner. Then eventually she eats it. She begrudgingly eats it. Anyway. Liz Warren is like the undesired wet food of American politics. I don't think that analogy really makes sense, but it sounds funny. She's the undesired wet food of American politics. It's not a great analogy because my cat has to eat that and it's good for her. I don't think Liz Warren is good for the country, but it sounds funny. So I said it anyway. What are you going to do? So yeah, that's my thought on that. Mark, what's up, buddy? Thoughts on how unaccountable our voting machines are. They are super unaccountable. Jill Stein could have gotten 10% in the general election. We would never know. True. We need votes to be publicly counted live on air. I agree. It'd be a boring as hell show, but I do agree. I don't believe Tulsi or Bernie are losing in reality. To answer your question, why a super chatter in Jimmy's live stream was mad at Crystal Ball was that in a video, she called for Bernie's VP to be Warren for the white suburban vote. Nico talks about this in a video. Okay, I disagree. I don't know if it's anything to get mad about, but I disagree with her. I do not think Warren should be the VP. I think that'd be a mistake. And if white suburban, I mean, again, like, you know, the suburban vote, like the white suburban vote, some of those people are going to vote for a Democrat. Some of those people are going to vote Republican. Those are pretty general, like, hey, we're voting for a Republican or a Democrat, you know? And that's just that. You know, it's not like those people are like, well, I was going to vote Bernie, but I think he's too far left, so I'm just going to stay home, or I'm going to vote Trump. No, they'll vote for the Democrat, whether it's Bernie or somebody else. So yeah, I don't think Warren's the right VP. But getting back to the first part of what you were talking about, yeah, I mean, here in California, I did not get a receipt after I voted. We used these new machines that, of course, it was a circus. We talked about this for weeks on the show before it happened. Or actually, I think it was months, really. We talked about it for months, about how we did not test these machines in real time at all. All the beta testing they did, they failed at every level. Everything was a complete abject failure. They sent it to Alex Padilla, and Alex Padilla didn't give a hoot. Why? Well, Greg Palast told us why. Because Alex Padilla loves Joe Biden. Who does voter suppression favor the most? Joe Biden. It's all out in the open. And it wasn't enough because Bernie ended up winning California, fortunately. And it was great. Bernie won California. He may have won California by even more, but he won California nonetheless. So, you know, look forward to seeing those final delegate counts. But, by the way, I see some of you in the chat. Yes, Hillary Clinton does have a podcast. I am going to listen to at least one episode. I can't not, like, I mean, aren't you curious? Like, aren't you, like, what would she, I feel like she's going to have somebody introduce her. Like, I feel like she can't just be like, hey, Hillary here, you're listening to What Happened Live, you know, like it's going to be, she's going to have someone like introduce her, like, and for the queen of podcasting, here it is, her ruse, Hillary Clinton, she who, don't make eye contact. Don't make it. It's just a podcast. It's just audio. We can't. Well, okay. That'd be weird. She had a Skype guest. But I'm going to listen to at least one episode. I don't know the name of it. I know it was a fun Twitter trend where people were saying, what it might be called. But yeah, I am curious. I am just curious of the mechanisms of that podcast. So I will for sure be listening to at least one of them. And I know you're like, Ron, you're going to give her some numbers. You're going to give her like some numbers. You give her some bumps. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Curiosity is going to loan me to listening to at least one of those podcasts. First of all, I'm sure it's going to be hilarious. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely hilarious. Robert T, after Super Tuesday, my only advice to progressives is never have too much hope. Don't have too much hope. If you have too much hope, you got to have the right amount of hope. Got to have hope, and then you got to have some change with it. Look, we got to keep fighting. We got to keep trying. And yeah, I was very discouraged by last night's results. If you guys watched me on the Political Vigilante, if you watched me on Get Your News On with Ron, if you watched me over on the Jimmy Dore show even just a little bit ago, I'm definitely, the results were very disappointing. But, it's not over. It is definitely not over. Bernie is still definitely in this thing. And the one positive about this is that, look, we knew two front runners were going to emerge. Bernie was going to be one of them, and there was going to be an establishment going up against Bernie. The fact that it's Joe Biden and not somebody else in some ways, well, that's a lot better than it could be. I'd rather see Bernie go up against Joe Biden than, say, Liz Warren, than, say, Pete Buttigieg. I'm glad if I had to pick who I'd want Bernie to really go neck and neck with, I think I'd probably pick Joe Biden. Because, Mike Bloomberg, you would really see how far money can go if it was Mike Bloomberg, because he would buy as much as he could. Pete Buttigieg, again, I think that guy is psychotic and dangerous on a level that makes Joe Biden look like a friendly grandpa. Liz Warren, I think, would really take a lot of votes away from Bernie, and she would also get, the centrist establishment vote. But Joe Biden, the guy just is completely incoherent. He has so many skeletons in his closet. He doesn't need to decorate for Halloween. And I think if Bernie just goes on the offensive a little bit more than he has, he can win this thing. It's not over. Was last night a loss? Yeah, last night was a loss. Don't tie it up and put a bow on it. It was a loss. But this ain't over. This ain't over. So there you go. All right. And yeah, and we'll see, as of the recording of this, we'll see what happens between that conversation between the Warren and Sanders campaign. If Warren endorses Bernie, I wouldn't, that's fine. Like I don't think that's a bad thing. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a great thing either. Because again, I don't think Warren brings much to the table as far as, some of her supporters are going to go to Bernie. Some of her supporters are going to go to Biden. No matter what she does as far as an endorsement goes, that's the way it's going to go. Because some of her supporters are people who, they definitely lean progressive, but, maybe they're not paying as much attention to it. Like they're just kind of arm's length with politics. So they're like, oh, well, her and Bernie are the progressives, but, I'd rather have a woman or whatever it may be. So they favored Warren. Those people are going to go to Bernie. Other people who, maybe are like, well, I kind of want a more traditional Democrat or whatever, they're going to go to Biden. It doesn't really matter what Liz Warren does. So, if she endorses Bernie, that's great. I certainly, wouldn't say that's a bad thing. But if she doesn't, that's okay too. But I don't think she should be the VP pick. I think that'd be a bad pick. All right, guys, thank you very much. Podcast by George, Edwin, and Mark for the patron submissions for this stream. And to all of you, thank you so much for being here. And patrons, thank you so much for your patronage. I cannot do this without you. We're getting really close to a new milestone. I've been doing the Sounds of Revolution interview series. We had Jill Stein as our first guest. We just had our second guest, the publisher Douglas Lane and author Douglas Lane. We're going to be continuing with that, and we're this close to being able to break ground on those mini documentaries for city-owned internet. I could use your support. If you're watching this, you're not a patron yet, and you got an extra $1 a month to spare, even $1 a month goes a long way. And my Patreon is a give what you can Patreon, which means whatever level you give, $5 is the suggested tier. But if that's a little too high for you, I totally understand. Even $1 a month goes a long way. And for whatever amount you give, you get all the same content. Everyone gets all the same stuff. So please do consider it. You're helping me expand this show, helping me run this ship. In the meantime, you know the drill. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a regular Get Your News On with Ron. In the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. She's actually saying meow. I don't know if you can hear her. She's meowing there because she wants something. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.